Well, I appreciate your videos. I really do. Just the idea of taking my drip and putting it into Stampede will help build my income, so to speak. And that's the light bulb moment for me, because we get drip, and then, it's just kind of sitting there. We can always reinvest, reinvest it back into drip, but to have something that's so stable like this platform, for me, is ingenious. So again, that's the light bulb moment for me, because I've watched your videos several times, and I'm trying to, in my head, trying to figure out how this is all going to work. And that just gave me the greatest idea ever on how to pretty much make more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, appreciate your time and just know that I'm SK CryptoK, and today you should join my crypto club. Maybe by the end earn some dividends, so in advance I'ma thank you right now for that sub. Hey! Yo, let's go.
So, okay, what this is, okay, this still uses trunk. Everything that I talked about in my video is still 100% accurate, where it will boost the native staking of the trunk page and will moon the elephant token. Now, what this new Stampede contract looks like is exactly flow without a roll button. And, there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, the main con is it doesn't look like drip. There is no checking it every day, letting 1% build up, rolling it into your deposit, yada yada. So without the roll button, what it becomes is a contract where it is a 25% in and a daily 25% claim, and this will make more sense in a second. And then that's it. So you put in money, and it basically is like putting money into drip, except it just pulls up a claimed amount every single day for a 205% guaranteed APR. And so, for example, if you put in $10,000, you will walk away with, in exactly 365 days, you will walk out with $20,500. It essentially doubles your money. Now, here's the other cool thing too. Remember how when everyone talks about when you compound or when you add fresh money into flow or drip, it raises your max payout and kind of resets, quote unquote, your 365% counter. The same thing applies here. So if you put in $5,000 on day one, you're going to walk away with like $10,250 at the end of a year. However, you can always add fresh money from wherever else you're profiting, and it will increase your max payout. So if you start out with $5,000 and it's paying you out every single day, whatever, automatically, there's no roll, there's no manual, nothing you do. At any point in time, you can just add fresh money. You can add a new $5,000 to make your total $10,000, and your max payout will now be $20,500. It's a 205% APR. Any questions so far? And okay, so what that looks like though is it's a guaranteed 205 APR. That does not change. That does not go down. It does not go up. It does not matter how many people are in the pool, whether small or large. It is a locked 205% APR, which when you think about that on a stable coin of trunk, that is crazy. Crazy. There is no place else in crypto you are going to find something like that. And it's pretty amazing. Now, here we go. We're going to jump over to trunk. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So what this is right now, currently the APR in the native staking trunk page is only like 34%. And the reason it's that is because of these two stats right here. Supply. This is the total amount of trunk supply of all these 285 people. $664,000 have been put into the system, or have minted trunk, rather, I should say. Now, of this amount, 634,000 of that has actually been staked in the native staking. And just so you know, if this number matched this number, if they were both at $664,000, your APR would be at the bare base minimum of 30% APR, which is still incredible for a stable. Okay, you're getting 30% APR. Now, this is where it gets crazy. When you introduce Stampede and it requires Trunk to be used, what you're going to see is that this supply number right here is going to balloon. So this will grow. This will not grow as much as that, right? So you're going to see a situation where this goes up, I don't know, $1 to $10 million worth of Trunk, and your staked balance is not going to, grow as tight as this difference is right now. And when that happens, okay, when the supply grows exponentially higher because it's being used in Stampede, what it does is it supercharges this APR. And this percentage APR is limitless on a stable. So really, even just to match like drip, for example, if the drip price wasn't changing, let's say it stayed constant with all of the taxes and everything baked into drip, if it never moved in price, drip pays out an APR if you left it alone of like 292% mathematically. Now, obviously the difference, and just real quick, the difference between APR is if you put the money in and never compound it, you will get 292% APR. APY is the difference of when you start introducing the compound. When you're rolling in your drip, you're not getting the 365 advertised number, right? You're getting something crazy high in the thousands because you're actually compounding and growing faster that way. So this, I want you to imagine, as Stampede gets used and uses Trunk, it will separate these numbers. Remember, it'll boost the supply, and the stake will not follow as fast because it's going into Stampede instead. Take a step back, and what does this whole UI kind of look like? Drip. So I want you to imagine this native staking page. If this says 292% or higher, it might even say 365. You're going to have a deposit amount. You're going to have a reward amount being fed by that APR every single day, and you can roll and claim. It's the same exact thing as drip when you look at this UI in that perspective. And this APR supercharging is what's going to happen when Stampede gets used. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. And feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions. So the difference will be, this looks kind of like the drip UI. You have a roll function based on a APR percentage. So I've asked BT to, in parentheses, add to the side of this an APY percentage based on like a once a day roll, right? So if you're getting a bunch of rewards a day, you're going to roll it back into your deposit, and that's going to, affect your APY, and you'll see a display on that as well. And the other key difference here is, remember, there are no taxes on this. This is literally, you put BUSD in for a 1% mint fee, and then when you pull out, the redemption is 1% redemption fee. All the rolling, all the crap that goes into this, depositing, pulling out, there's no 10% tax. This is taxless. Okay. So that's another really key point that kind of makes this system really nice, right? And your deposit is not locked. So I want you to imagine, if this APR boosts up to 365% APR, you are growing 1% a day basically on your deposit amount, and you can roll it. Okay. And at any point, you're not just earning off of the interest. You can pull out your entire deposit with this withdrawal feature right here. It'll tell you how much Trunk you have. You just pull it out. It shows up in the rewards, and then you claim it out straight to your wallet. So that's kind of the It's kind of the key here. Like whenever this new Stampede project launches right here, you need to really think of Elephant, Trunk, and Stampede as one cohesive drip, if you will. They all play into each other. They're all part of one ecosystem that feeds each other. So Stampede is immediately a 205% APR, which is already higher than Trunk. So people are going to want to flood this with their Trunk, take advantage of that for that guaranteed 205. And as people do that, whales ape in, your APR on Trunk is going to skyrocket. And soon enough, this will look more attractive than Stampede. However, the APR on this can and will fluctuate, but it's going to be in the hundreds, whereas this is locked at 205%. And remember, Trunk is backed by 75% BUSD. So if you put in $100, 75 of it's BUSD. The other $25 out of your 100 is going into Elephant. So that is going to moon this price. Right now it's hovering at about blah 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 00010. Okay, the launch price was 14 instead of 10. So pretty soon this will surpass even the launch price, and this will moon because it's nothing but 25% of Trunk's positive buy pressure, just buying Elephant all the time. So does that make sense? Have I lost anyone so far?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So far, so
Yeah.
good. SK, do you know if there's going to be like a button maybe implemented here in Trunk, or you can just like roll it directly into Stampede?
There will not be a button. Yeah, they will be separate entities. And but at first I didn't like the direction this was going, but then as I sat and just kind of soaked it in last night, I was like, holy shit, this is actually just as genius. And instead of having a flow UI that looks like this, you already have it technically. It's the Trunk UI. And this APR is going to go ape shit. And when it does, this becomes that flow UI that we've all been wanting. And it's even better because you can pull out your deposit whenever you want. The Trunk price will never change. It's constant at a stable. So this is genius. This is genius. And the other cool thing too is part of this 1% redemption fee whenever you redeem out or if you mint, okay, that 25% that is Elephant that I'm talking about is actually buying Elephant and putting it into this Elephant treasury, which when I made my first video on this over a month ago, this was only at like 3 or 4 trillion tokens. And right now it's at 15 trillion tokens. And this thing is not only just gaining the reflections like a normal holder would be, obviously, remember, Elephant token itself has a 10% tax. Half of that tax goes to liquidity. The other half of the tax gets reflected back to all the other holders. So this is receiving reflections just like any other holder, just like you and I are. But in addition to that, it's being spoon-fed freaking steroids from Trunk. So this holder right here is a whale that can never dump on you. Okay? This is here to protect the system alongside the graveyard. But I want you to imagine as more and more Trunk gets used in this native staking, plus the Stampede, plus the LPs that are coming out on other platforms, plus the other things, like he's finding use case and throwing Trunk wherever it can exist outside of this page. As that happens, this supply skyrockets, this Elephant treasury skyrockets, and when this goes into the hundreds of trillions of Elephant token in this one treasury, this one whale, it hardens that price. So when people go to dump on you, you barely feel it. You know what I mean? Unless this thing was to dump on you, and it can't. It can't. So that's kind of the magic with this Elephant treasury. In addition to what's over here in the Elephant graveyard. So you know, every time that this thing every time this thing balloons up, but this graveyard is constantly being fed reflections, you know, out of that 10% just alone elephant tax, the elephant tax. Half of it keeps going to this. When it hits 51%, it sends that 10 trillion tokens, basically, which is from 50 to 51% is 10 trillion tokens. It sends that to the liquidity, which closes the gap between this and this. And you know, I know I'm getting into the weeds a little bit, but we should really be happy that the market cap of 10 million is a really close spread between the locked liquidity of 6 million tokens, or sorry, dollars. This is tight. The closer that these numbers get, the harder the price gets, which means less fluctuation in the actual chart. Even if BNB itself were to dump in the bear market, elephant price won't dump alongside it as harshly. Have the market cap match so closely to the liquidity is genius and strengthens this. And the graveyard, all that does is feed this. It builds up to 51%, boom, slaps it into the liquidity, closing the gap. Fills up to 51% again, boom. It's just an endless cycle of just feeding this, in addition to what we just talked about with this elephant treasury. So you have two mechanisms that are protecting that elephant price in the treasury and the graveyard, if that makes sense. So the best thing that we want is to have Trunk be adopted and used outside of this and just this, which that's coming. And Stampede is the first of that. And that's going to send this APR crazy. So just if there's anything you take away from this, if you're disappointed that the new Stampede contract does not look like Flow or Drip, this is what I want you to take away. This is the Flow Drip. This right here. This APR is going to go bonkers. Yeah, questions?
Hey, SK. What's up? How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Foley! What's up, man?
I'm good, bro. How you doing? Yeah, thanks for
Very good.
yeah, thanks for the enlightenment. That all makes sense. But yeah, I might have missed it. Where does the reward comes from, though?
So a large part of it is the taxes. There's a 25% deposit tax and a daily 25. So, well, how do I say it? It's basically 25 in, 25 out. Okay. The other half of it is actually coming from when people have to mint Trunk to get into it. And then when they claim out, it redeems Trunk or mints more Trunk. All of that little mint, redeem that happens, it's actually blowing the shit up out of this elephant treasury. Like, this thing is going to hyper moon. Like, this elephant treasury is going to be so big that the taxes pay for your rewards on one half, and then this pays for the other half, essentially. The magic is that this is outpacing anyone that's being paid out of Stampede. So between the treasury and the taxes alone of the Stampede, it covers everything. It pays for itself. That's why I say, when you look at these three contracts, they are one contract, basically. And all the liquidity that's going to be in each of them cycles through and pays for itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, in a nutshell. Yeah.
But the treasury might have to sell a bit of elephant for Trump. Is that what that means? So I'm just thinking, because what is in the treasury is elephant tokens, right?
It's elephant tokens and BUSD.
And
So you see,
okay.
you see the supply right here of 664,000. It's essentially the cash treasury right here, which is just kind of a stable BUSD. You see that?
Yeah.
Plus the elephant
gotcha.
treasury. Yeah.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
these two combined make the supply. Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yep. So yeah, and these are going to blow up. So before it gets too late, I know we're 30 minutes in, and I know I didn't want to take up too much of everyone's time. So I'm going to read through something that I typed as I was making sense of it in my own head. So I want you to think of, before you read that, I want you to think of this Stampede basically is at the fundamentals a 1% a day, 365% a year contract. That's the starting point. And then the moment you start adding this 25% tax in and the 25% tax out, that lowers, quote unquote, the 365% APR down to 205%. That's why when you look at Stampede, you will see 205% APR. So let's go into the math. So 365 APR with a daily claim tax of 25% is effectively a 273% APR. So remember, when you throw into this contract, you're putting in like $10,000 and you are automatically getting 1% a day out of that, claimed out automatically. It's just going into a pool, and then you can choose to claim out of that pool anytime. But that 1% of the day that's being claimed off of your $10,000, which is, what is that? That's $100 a day. Okay. That $100 a day, as it gets pulled out automatically, is being taxed 25%. So really, you're not pulling out 1% a day, you're pulling out 0.75%. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, 0.75% a day, because it's automatically getting taxed. Okay. So that's where this 365 to start with a daily 25% claim tax feels like a 273 APR. But now 75% of the 273 APR, which is basically the 25% off of your deposit right off the rip, you put in 10,000, it feels like 7,500. When you factor that in, 75% of your 273 APR is 205% that you see advertised. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
Just the yeah, that's just the math behind it, okay? But all you will see is, oh shit, I'm gonna put my trunk in and I'm gonna get 205% back. This is what you see, and that's what you can bank on. But this right here is the math behind it, okay? So that's why, in other words, it's $7,500, remember, because you're 25% upfront tax, at a 273 APR, which if you follow this math up here, and I'll post this in my TG for you to read it again, but remember, 273 APR is kind of what you started, then we break it down further to 205. But it's the same thing as saying $7,500 at 273 APR will still get you 20,531. But the clean version is, you see, I put in $10,000. I'm getting back $20,531. That's all you see, and that's really all you need to see. Everything else is working in the background. So it's kind of really cool in that way. Also, this is my other favorite aspect. The max payout is always 205% ahead of your deposit, just like drip, just like flow. Adding fresh funds will reset the clock and increase your max payout. So again, you put in 10,000, you automatically see that your max payout is going to be $20,531. But the moment you add another $10,000, whether it's 30 days later, 80 days later, whenever, you're going to automatically double your max payout, and it will just continue to pay out your claim every single day. Like, that right there is crazy. The resetting the clock thing. And this isn't a day one. This isn't like Venturi or something where day one you put in 10,000 and I know I'm walking away with this. And after 365 days, this drops off while my day number 80 investment of 10,000 also pays out 20,000. It doesn't work that way. It just lumps it all together, resets the clock. So this is literally one of the best places you can store any profits that you take. Like, this is the best bank you can ask for. Literally, think about it. It's mind-blowing. You will buy trunk, which is $1. You will stake it into a bank account that gives you 205 freaking APR, 205% APR. Nowhere else in crypto guarantees this shit. And it can only do it because it works with the elephant token, the trunk native staking, and Stampede taxes all together to pay for this shit. Okay. So solvent and sustainable thanks to trunk treasury and the taxes in and of itself that we talk about up here of the Stampede. So it's pretty cool. So, and then lastly, like we already reviewed, the APR percentage of trunk native staking will balloon up well past 292 and will offer the UI, the roll function, and etc. you seek. Also, Elephant will 10x over the next month or two. So, this is really exciting, guys. Like, I'm bullish as shit on this, if you can't already tell. But yeah, shit. It's cool. Any questions?
Hey, SK, this is CD. How you doing?
Yo, CD, what's up?
CD! I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity.
No, I am
Yeah.
not.
I literally put my pants on the same way you do, one leg at a time.
But I appreciate your videos. I really do. I got the light bulb moment just now when you said that just the idea of taking my drip and putting it into Stampede will help build my income, so to speak. And that's the light bulb moment for me when you said that, because we get drip and it's just kind of sitting there. We can always reinvest it back into drip, but to have something that's so stable like this platform, for me, is ingenious. So again, that's the light bulb moment for me, because I've watched your videos several times, and I'm trying to, in my head, trying to figure out how this is all going to work. And that just gave me the greatest idea ever on how to pretty much make more money. You know what I'm saying?
No, thank you so much for that testament right there. No, seriously, like when this all clicked for me, I'll tell you, I got goosebumps. I was like, holy shit. like literally, it's the elephant ecosystem is where it's just the best bank that you can ask for. That's all. Like, in a simple word, this is a bank. That's all it is. This is better than you're ever going to get from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, wherever the hell you bank. This is the best place to store any profits from anywhere in the crypto space that you're getting. So if you're, hydrate the shit out of your drip, don't get me wrong, do that. But every so often, whenever you want to claim out a little bit and you just want to take a little profit, sell it into BNB, put it into Trunk. And the cool thing is you can put it into Stampede for the guaranteed 205, or you can put it in and play it with the Trunk staking native whenever this APR goes bonkers. So if you're putting in your profits on Trunk and or Stampede, you're getting huge profits back. Like, I just can't stress that enough. Like, that's why we all need to be striving to diversify and find more things besides drip. Like, I love drip. Don't get me wrong. I love that shit. But there is so much else going on that we cannot sleep on. And, that's why, that's part of the magic of at least H&W. If you choose that as your hub, you're going to be learning about safe vetted projects, that aren't going to rug on you. So if you get in early on one of those and you get a nice 10X, shit, take out 50% and throw it here in the freaking Trunk. Like, the whole goal is to find other projects and then skim profits and put it here, because the bear market is just around the corner. This entire freaking thing is bear market proof. Bear market proof. And you loading up on Elephant right now, like, if you don't like the slow growth of 205% on a stable, that's fine. You have this. This can scratch that itch on if you want price appreciation, because this will go up. It's crazy. And like, the price has been going up not only because of the bull run, but like when you zoom all the way out, and this is where it launched at, like, this price was at, all those zeros, 14.91. Market crashed from May, June, July. And then the market bounced back right here. This is where the market roared back, okay? But you'll already see, before the market came back at this point, that's when BT launched those little V2 pools. where you can stake your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your cake, and those V2 pools had a tiny sliver of a little 2% instant buyback against Elephant token. So those V2 pools introduced a 2% buyback on Elephant token, and you can already see it was starting to creep the Elephant price up just based on 2%. All right. Then the market roared back. Some others like dumped, whatever. But then he introduced Trunk. And Trunk isn't a measly little 2% buyback. It is a 25% buyback. So the more Trunk that gets minted, this is going to send this price bonkers. And you can already tell if you start down here, overall, it's following a trend line of going up. And it will continue to go up because as time goes on, the price also gets harder. So it's going to be harder for it to even dump. But you're going to be getting whales and YouTubers and shit talking about this because you're getting a guaranteed 205% on Stampede. You're doubling your money basically, right? Like if you can get 5,000 in there, you'll turn it into 10,000. You pull out your 10,000, restake it. Year 2, you turn your 10,000 into 20,000. Year 3, your 20,000 into 40,000. Like it is a promised contract guarantee of doubling your money every single year. You know what I mean? So it's all about yeah, it's freaking insane. So yeah. Any other questions while I'm here? We're at the 45-minute mark, so we could wrap up after a couple questions. Anything from the people?
So SK, also with Elephant, if I put some in Elephant, can you kind of go into Elephant a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. So this token overall, I think, is 1 quadrillion tokens. This was made during the Safe Moon era. However, it is a reflect token, but because of this graveyard, this is the innovation that happened. A lot of those Safe Moon clones not only had reward exploits, which, you know, that was caught and fixed. That was never in here to begin with. But most of those reflection rewards, what they do is they send that liquidity to basically a graveyard, and it's just like locked away, and then it never does anything. It never joins the actual liquidity. It just kind of gets burned and lost in a black hole, and it's never recovered. So what was introduced on this is this token is a 10% in and out tax, where half of that 10% goes to this graveyard and the other half goes to everyone's bag. So depending on how much elephant you hold, it's a hold to earn token, you'll get a staked percentage relative to all the other elephant holders, and you will see your staked percentage amount of that 10% tax, or that half that goes out to all the holders. So if you have 1 billion elephant right now, you can check back in a month later and you'll see, I got 1.2 billion elephant. Like, it'll slowly creep up. You're getting more and more elephant token just with all the transactions. Now, that 10% tax, the half of it that goes to the graveyard, and this is the difference with other actual Safe Moon, Moonrat, all those clones, they just go to the black hole. This one is a smart contract that rebalances it. So it gets sent to a quote unquote black hole that builds up here. It builds back up to every time this number hits 51%, or AKA 10 trillion tokens, it rebalances back down to 50%, and it sends those 10 trillion tokens, that dollar amount, it sends it to the liquidity, which hardens the price and closes the gap between liquidity and the market cap. So this will perpetually just cycle over and over from 51% down to 50, sends it to liquidity, closes the gap. And also, the more people that buy elephant and trunk and blah, 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 it's going to shoot this market cap up and the liquidity up. But then you have the graveyard helping out every I don't know the timeline of it, maybe like once a month or so. This hits 51% and locks in that liquidity, and then it just cycles over. So this token in and of itself is just purely a 10% in, 10% out token. That's just really all elephant is. And I'm trying to put words to it. The last thing I'll leave you with is how do I say it? There's something to be said about this trunk treasury, that there's a tipping point that's about to be crossed. And when this trunk treasury, it's something about when this elephant treasury right here grows so big and it tips the scales and is like stronger than the graveyard or stronger than the elephant token mechanics by themselves, it causes the elephant token to go parabolic. Like, it's not a matter of if elephant will go parabolic, it's literally when it goes parabolic. There is a tipping point that occurs when the elephant treasury in this system and trunk overtakes the elephant token. And once that tipping point is crossed, this price will start shaving off zeros. Like, this shit is going to go parabolic. So if during this bull run you want to capture some actual like 10x, 20x, it's happening. It's gonna happen once that tipping point's crossed. And all it takes is more adoption for that trunk. And Stampede is going to bring that. The LP farms that are coming out, like when he puts trunk on other platforms, it's going to help adopt trunk. All that trunk adoption that occurs feeds that elephant treasury in the trunk, hitting that tipping point, and then just causing this to go parabolic, and it can't be stopped. It's a matter of when, not if. So this is why elephant's good. What's up?
Have you done any spreadsheets on how much elephant will be accumulating through all the different contracts? You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's not yet. Not yet. I haven't. I mean, I don't even know if I would know how to.
Well, I just remember you said you could skim the profits off of elephant, like, over as the price increases. So I was just a little curious about that.
Yeah. That's a really good question. I don't have a spreadsheet that ties these three contracts, elephant, trunk, and Stampede together. That's going to be a task. But all I know is I know in 1 month, we've only got like 285 users here, and you've already got over $500,000 locked in. And this has gone in 1 month from like 3 trillion tokens up to 15. So when you start imagining people dumping in, aping into this guaranteed 205% APR on Stampede, it's going to skyrocket this. It's going to skyrocket that, which hits a tipping point that makes this token go parabolic. Now, if you like the main play here is like, if you've got enough money, then definitely put a little bit into trunk, capitalize on this because this APR will go up. Throw some in to Stampede. But if you just really don't have a lot of money and you want to make a safe play, my recommendation, and not financial advice, would be to buy elephant token. So I gave this example to someone, if they have $500, right? They could go put $500 right here, or they could put the $500 in the native Stampede thing and get a 205% on it. But basically, if you put in $500 on Stampede and you're doubling your money in a year's time, that means in half a year, all you got taken out was $500, essentially. You know what I mean? So that's 6 months where all you did was ROI. Whereas if you put $500 into elephant, it won't take you 6 months to hit $500. It's going to take you like 1 month to hit like $5,000. Like, you're going to get a price appreciation where your money flips on itself. So your 500 goes, 3x, 5x, 8x, whatever. And then you can take out 50%. Let's just say 10x's, it goes to $5,000. You turn $500 into $5,000. Now you can take half of that, which is $2,500. And now you can go put that into trunk of any kind. And you can leave the other $2,500 here in elephant as a moon bag. So it's basically, what do you do with your 500? Do you let it multiply on top of itself with something that is inevitable? Or do you just play the safe route, which is, fine too, but you could put your $500 into Trunk or Stampede and let it grow slowly, but guaranteed, but slowly.
This whole ecosystem is smart. I mean, just the way it's like set up to, you know, one thing feeds the other. I mean, it's just very smart.
It is. And it took him a long time to put this together. I mean, he's been working on this since March, but when it finally comes to fruition, oh my gosh, when that Stampede's introduced, and that's not even it. There's like some other stuff that I don't even know the details of, but everything that comes out after Stampede is just another thing that feeds this 3 contract system. So when the 4th and the 5th contract come out, it feeds this system of elephant and trunk. Like everything feeds elephant and trunk going forward. So it's, I don't know. It's really, really genius. Buying some elephant while it's still cheap. And even after Stampede comes out, I don't know how fast this price is going to go up. It might take like a week to kind of stir the pot, but it's imminent that this price is going to go up, and it's going to happen during. And I kept asking him about that. I was like, dude, even if you didn't get a lot of people coming in and Stampede, like, he's like, nah, SK, we're almost at that tipping point. You know, that tipping point, whatever tipping point that he keeps talking about, we're almost there to where. And I was like, so this elephant is going to moon when? And he said, oh, it should within the month. If not, and I was like, if not, it's going to happen in the bull run regardless. Because remember, BNB at some point is going to hit a run up too. BNB right now is like $600. BNB is going to hit 1,000 whenever Bitcoin hits its all-time high of like 100,000. That's kind of what everyone's projecting. So you're going to get that tipping point. You're going to get 2 things that appreciate this price. You're going to get the tipping point of the Trunk versus Elephant token. And you're going to get, because Elephant's tied and paired to BNB, when BNB pumps, this will also pump along with it. So now you have like a double effect of how this shit is going to go parabolic. It's going to go crazy. This is going to go crazy. Like, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even want to price predict, but it's going to shave. Every 0 that gets shaved off is a 10x. So if this shaves off 2 zeros, yeah, that's a 20x.
Yeah, I mean, that graveyard alone was what, you know, sold us on Elephant like way back in the day when it first came out. Because, you know, that you knew it would be going hyper deflationary at some point in time.
At some point, yeah. And like, I hate it because it's like foot in my mouth moment. I've been telling y'all that for months. And it's like, now I finally see it. Now I finally see it. He went into hiding for 4 months straight and built Trunk. This is the utility it needed. Now that Trunk is here to forever feed Elephant, now it's all about just finding use case and adoption for Trunk. And it starts with Stampede. Then it goes to the next thing. Then it goes to the contracted partnerships he's doing outside, where you're going to start seeing Trunk in an LP farm elsewhere. You know, things like that. So yeah, this system is going to go parabolic, and the system is bear market proof. And yeah, that's pretty much it, yo. When he painted this picture, like I'm painting it for you, I had the aha moment. I had goosebumps, and I said, holy shit, Trunk native staking is flow. This is flow. This is the roll button you want. This is the APR you're looking for. This is 1% or whatever APR rewards you're getting a day. This is your deposit. You have everything you want here. You have a roll and a claim. You have everything you need right here, and you can take out your deposit whenever the hell you want. Like, I have $1,200 right here. What if I wanted to take out 500? I could. Amazing.
So you're basically saying that Trunk UI is the Stampede UI.
Yeah, it's basically the flow. This is the drip that we've been wanting BT to make. This is the drip right here. This is the drip UI. Stampede is just a side contract that works a lot like drip and flow, just without a roll button. But it's basically a bond. You put in X amount and you're guaranteed to double your money. Who else can do that? Like, it's crazy.
Hey, how you doing today? I'm doing well too, hanging out here ready to play in this world of crypto growing day to day. I'm teaching people how to crypto in a positive way, you know. What crypto bags am I holding in? Diversify with the ones that I'm gonna win. Rona game, strip token of the elephant. and plenty more, but just know I'm enjoying them. Not financial advice.